Welcome to EasyElimu Learning Simplified. My name is Eric. I'll be taking you through this topic, decimals, and for this lesson, we'll be looking at division of decimals by a decimal. Previously, we looked at division of a decimal by a whole number. For this lesson, we look at division of decimals by another decimal. So we will start by looking at what that is all about. Then we see some of the rules that are used when it comes to division of decimals by another decimal. Then we will try and see some sample questions. So we have sample questions involving division of decimals by another decimal, and then at the end of the lesson we'll be able to give you some questions just to help you practice and also to help you gauge your understanding of the concepts as discussed through this session. So there is a rule here that is applied. One, when you are dividing a decimal by a decimal, we first change the divisor to a whole number. So how do you do that? So this is done by multiplying both the dividend and the divisor by a power of 10, which makes the divisor a whole number. So we are going to see how that is done. For example, if you have 2.3 and you're dividing by 0.03. So you see, this is the same as 2.3 over 0.03. So here, if I multiply both numerator and denominator by 100, then the divisor here is going to be a whole number. So multiplying 2.3 by 100 is going to be 230, and multiplying 0.03 by 100 is going to be 3. So again, if you have a problem with that, you can check from our previous video how that is done. But basically, this is what we have done. So we just multiply by 100. The multiplication by 100 by powers of 10 normally shifts the decimal point to the right number of steps that is equivalent to the number of zeros. So we're going to have 1, 2. And then there's going to be a 0 here. That's why we have 130. And then again, the same to this 1, 2. So yeah, we're going to have the decimal point immediately after 3. So that doesn't have any effect. So you can just leave it without indicating it. So we have 0, 0, 3. So these first zeros can be ignored. They don't really count that much. That's why we have 3 here. Then you can now divide now normally. So let's see. First example. How that is done. So I have now 1 point. So I have 1.532, and it is divided by 0.4. So 1.532, and then you are dividing by 0.4. So how can I make the divisor here to be a whole number? So I need to multiply both dividend up there and the divisor here by 10. So this by 10 and the other one by 10. So division by powers of 10 will only shift the decimal point to the right number of steps that is equivalent to the number of zeros in the multiplier. So we have 1 0. So the decimal point will only shift one step to the right. So that is 15. So the decimal point will be in between 5 and 3. So 15.3 divided by this one. Again, the decimal point will shift just one step to after 4. So that is 4 point, and there is nothing after that. So you only write 4. And then now you do the division normally like we did it previously. So let's try and do it. So the divisor here is now 4. The dividend is now 15.32. So again here, 1 here is smaller. If you try to divide 1 by 4 here, it will be 0. But now you see 0 here will be appearing before a number. So it will not count that much. So I will not write it. So I will use 15 here, you know. Or you can still just use it. So 1 divided by 4 is 0. Just write it there so that we see why we are removing it, where we don't really need to write it. So 0 by 4 is 0. 0 multiplied by 4 is 0. Then you subtract here is 1. And you drop this 5 down here. So 5. Then 15 now divided by 4 is 3. You write it on top of. So you see now I have 0, 3. So the first 0 here will not really count. So I will eventually remove it. But meanwhile, let's continue with it. So 3 by 4 is 12. And if you subtract this is 3. Then you drop the next digit, which is 3. And 33 here divided by 4 is 8. And 8 by 4 is 32. So you subtract again, this is 1. You drop the next digit, which is 2. So 12 divided by 4 is 3. And 3 by 4 again is 12. So if you subtract 0, 0. So this is even. And then the decimal point jumps up there, you know. So it's 0, 3 point. So the first 0 here does not really count, so you can ignore it. So what it means is that 1.532, when you divide it by 0.4, the answer is equals to not 0 point, but 3.83. What you were able to get up there, 0, 3. So 0, 3, you'll just write 3 point. 3 point. So that is how you go about it. So if you divide that, you get 3.83. So let's see how we do this other one as well. So we have 0. So we have 0.0. So we have 0.01532, and then divided by 0.04. So here you see if what will make the divisor here, the divisor is the one at the number here at the bottom. What will make this divisor here to be a whole number is when we multiply it by 100. So we multiply it by 100. So you see that will move the decimal point to somewhere here, which will make this number to be 4, you know. So that means the numerator there must be multiplied by 100. So if you multiply, remember multiplication by these powers of 10 will shift the decimal point to the right number of steps that is equivalent to the number of zeros in the multiplier. So we have 1, 2. So numerator will be 1.532. And of course the denominator will be 4, 1, 2. So that is just 4. So now you can divide normally. So we have 4 and then 1.532. So 1 here divided by 4 is not possible, so I write 0. Then 0 by 4 is 0. Then you subtract 1. Then you drop the next digit here, 5. 15 divided by 4 is 3. And 3 by 4 is 12. Subtract this is 3, and then you drop the next digit. That is 33. So 33 divided by 4 is 8. And 8 by 4 is 32. You subtract is 1. You drop the next digit, which is, and 12 divided by 4 is 3. And 3 by 4 is 12 again. So if you subtract, this is 0, 0. And then the decimal point, of course, will jump up there. So 0.383. So it then means that 0.015 0.01532 divided by 0.04 should be equal to what we got up there. That is 0.38. So 383. So take note of what we did. We first of all made sure that the divisor is whole. So we multiply both the dividend and the divisor by a power of 10 that will make the divisor a whole number. Yes. So if you multiply the divisor by 10, that will just make it 0.4. So I have to multiply it by 100. That is the one that will move the decimal point from here all the way up to after 4. Then after that, now you can divide normally. So the numerator now again, we have 1 point. So it's no longer 0.01. So the decimal point, remember, as you multiply the divisor by 100, you also remember to multiply the dividend by 100. So multiplying the dividend by 100 will make it 1.532. So we are now dividing 1.532 divided by 4. And that's what we are getting as the 0.383. So it means then the quotient, the division there, the answer is supposed to be 0.8383. 0.383. So let's see the final example here, number 3, how we do it. So the approach is the same. So we have 0.0015 1532 divided by 0.005. So what will make the decimal point to move from where it is to in front of 5? That means you need to move it 3 steps. So you have to multiply by 1000. You must multiply by a power of 10 that has 3 zeros. And because I've multiplied the denominator here by 1000, the numerator must also be multiplied by the same 1000. But the rule is multiply both the divisor and the dividend by a power of 10. That will make the divisor here whole. So that has to be 1000. So multiplication by powers of 10 will shift the decimal point to the right a number of steps that is equivalent to the number of zeros in the multiplier. So 1, 2, 3. So that is where the decimal point position is going to be finally. So 1.532. And down here, what do we get? 1, 2, 3. So 5 points. So that is just 5. Then now you can do the division normally. So now we have the divisor is 5 now, and the dividend is still 1.532. So 1 here divided by 5 is 0, because 1 is smaller. That is the only reason I'm writing 0 at the top there. And 0 by 5 is 0. Then you subtract, this is 1. So you drop the next digit here. So that is 5. So 5 divide 15 here. Now this is 15. We subtracted 0 from 1, then we dropped 5. So 15 divided by 5 is 3. So you write that 3 on top. You have to be very systematic in the way you write the digits up there. So the first one we divided 1, we wrote 0 on top of 1. The second, we're now dividing 15. We're writing the result on top of the next digit 5. So you have to be very careful the way you write the digits up here. So 3 by 15 is 3 by 5 is 15. And if you subtract is 0. So I will not do anything. I will not write anything there. So I will only drop this 3 here. 3 divided by 5 is again 0. So 0 times 5 is 0. So if you subtract, this is 3, and then you drop the next digit here. So this one is not even, because now you see if you drop 2, that is going to be 32. 32 divided by 5 is 6. And 6 by 5 is 30. So if you subtract again, this is going to be 2. So the remainder is 2. So that means the divisor is not dividing into the dividend evenly. You see, so the rule there states now you add zeros in front of the dividend. And then now you keep adding as you drop the zeros until when there is no remainder. So sometimes that might not end. So if that process is not ending or not terminating, then that decimal up there will be considered to be a recurring decimal. But if it's not a recurring decimal, then that process should end somewhere. That's why you're supposed to continue with that process until when the remainder down here, when the difference down here is now 0. So let's see. So we have subtracted, that is 2. And then now you have to drop this next 0 here. You see. So 20 here divided by 5 is 4. And 4 by 5 is 20. You can see now the result is 0. So you stop. Once you stop, the decimal point is taken up there. So what that means is that 0 point, so we have this number here is 0.0011532 divided by 0.005 should be equal to what we got up there, 0.3064. So that is how you go about it. Procedurally, step by step until you arrive at the final answer. So there is another one here that you can attempt just to help you check whether you have really understood. And then, of course, together with the assignment here, you can always attempt just to help you check whether you've really understood. And in case there are questions, you can always ask in the comment section. You'll be able to look at them and give feedback accordingly. Otherwise, that marks the end of the lesson. Goodbye.